In part one, we covered the foundations of executive presence. How you carry yourself, how you communicate with clarity and conviction. Those are the essentials. But what separates a director who has presence from a director who is a presence? Big difference there. The difference lies in a set of unspoken rules that govern the executive floor. Most directors that I work with believe that the next step is to get even better at public speaking or to project more confidence in meetings. But at this level, that's just the cost of entry. The real game isn't about how you show up, it's about how you think. I've seen this time and again with the leaders that I coach. The ones who make the leap to the C-suite aren't the ones who perfected their power pose. They're the ones who mastered the mindset behind the presence. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on those 3 unspoken rules. We're going to help you stop trying to act like a leader and start thinking like one. Unspoken rule number 1, stop managing costs and start driving value. The first unspoken rule is about fundamentally shifting your financial perspective. As a director, you have to stop thinking like a manager who manages costs and start thinking like an executive who drives value. Managers are given a budget and rewarded for staying within it. They operate defensively, focused on minimizing expenses. Executives, on the other hand, are entrusted with capital and are expected to generate a return on it. They operate offensively, looking for opportunities to invest for growth. This isn't just semantics. It's the single biggest indicator of C-suite potential. It reframes your entire contribution from an operational task to strategic impact. I once worked with a client, a president of a large division, who was getting bogged down in the day-to-day. He was complaining that he needed to hire a senior sales manager, but he was fixated on the cost of $300,000 all in compensation and benefits, etc. His entire focus was on that number as a deduction from his P&L. I stopped him and I asked a simple question. Is that a cost or is that an investment? That got him thinking about it very differently. We broke it down. By hiring that person, he could free himself from the tactical sales management work that was consuming all his time, and he could focus more on the strategic impact that his division needed to make. I asked him, if you could get that time back, could you, as the president, generate an extra $75,000 a month in strategic value for the business? He said, easy. That was a big strategic mindset shift. So here's your action step. Before your next big decision, I want you to apply the ROI question. Ask yourself, am I framing this as a cost to be minimized or as an investment to generate a return? When you start speaking the language of value and ROI, you stop sounding like a manager reporting on a budget, and you start sounding like a leader driving business results. So unspoken rule number 2, stop owning the how and start owning the why. The second unspoken rule of executive presence is about how you leverage your team. It's about graduating from being the best doer on your team to being the leader who defines what needs to be done. If this sounds familiar, it should. You're so used to executing and being the expert that you struggle to let go. You find yourself in back-to-back meetings, drowning in operational details and thinking, it's just faster for me to do it. This is the doer's dilemma, and it's the single fastest way to hit a career ceiling. At the executive level, your value is not on your personal output. It's in your ability to multiply the output of your team. You do that by delegating. It's about determining the destination. That means that you must get crystal clear on the why and the what, and then empower your team with the autonomy to figure out how. The job is to set the vision and to remove the roadblocks, not to draw the map for them. When you micromanage the how, you create a team of compliant followers. When you entrust them with the why, you cultivate a team of future leaders. So here's your action step for this week. I call it the 1-sentence mandate. For the next project you delegate, I challenge you to define the objective in a single, clear sentence that outlines the desired result without dictating the process. Instead of saying, I need you to run these reports, set up those meetings, build the dashboard so that we can see the churn numbers, you say, our goal is to develop a system that gives us a real-time understanding of customer churn, and I need you to lead that initiative. See the difference? The first is a task list. The second is a mission. When you elevate your focus from the how to the why, you're no longer just managing a team, you're leading a movement. And that kind of leadership has a presence all its own. So unspoken rule number 3, stop avoiding politics, start mapping influence. The third unspoken rule is the one that makes most people uncomfortable, but it's arguably the most critical for executive success. You have to stop avoiding office politics and start mastering the art of mapping influence. High achievers often have a negative view of politics. They believe that good work should speak for itself and that navigating relationships is just abstraction. But at the executive level, great ideas die without support. Your ability to get things done is directly proportional to your ability to build consensus, understand stakeholder motivations, and align your goals with theirs. Influence is the currency of leadership. This isn't about back-channel deals or gossip. It's about strategically understanding the human dynamics of your organization. I learned this early in my career when I was brought in as a change agent to lead a marketing department. My team was talented, but they were being bullied and undermined by some people in another department. Instead of pushing back, my first move was to build relationships with the head of the business and his direct reports. They were the people with the real power. I didn't go in with demands. I went in with questions. I listened to their needs, understood their priorities, and aligned my vision for marketing with their business goals. When the inevitable conflict arose, I wasn't standing alone. I was standing on solid ground, backed by key decision makers who saw my success as their success. That's what mapping influence looks like. So here's your final action step. I call it the pre-meeting tour. Before your next big proposal, before you even build the deck, I want you to have informal one-on-one conversations with at least 3 key stakeholders. Don't pitch them. Ask them questions such as, when you're facing this challenge, what's your perspective on it? What would a win look like for your department? Use that intelligence to shape your final proposal. By the time you walk into the formal meeting, your ideas won't be a surprise. It will be a solution that already has supporters in the room. So mastering executive presence at this level isn't about adopting a new persona. It's about developing a new perspective. It's about shifting from managing costs to driving value, from owning the how to owning the why, and from avoiding politics to mapping influence. When you make these mental shifts, presence is no longer something you have to project. It becomes the natural, undeniable result of the leader that you've become. If you're a director who's ready to stop tinkering with the symptoms and start rewiring your leadership mindset, let's talk. I'm Terry McDougall, and I help leaders like you make these exact shifts every day. Click on the link in the description below to book a leadership strategy session with me, and let's build the roadmap to your next level of impact.